So you joined the New York Phil in 2000, right? And
Yes.
before you joined the Phil, you spent time both in the Pittsburgh and Montreal symphonies.
Yes.
How were those experiences similar and different to the New York Phil?
Oh, I would say in many cases similar. Uh, I went to school in Montreal, and I was born an hour south of Montreal, so I considered it my hometown,
Mhm.
and that was my goal. My goal, my dream was to get a job in the Montreal Symphony, because that, it was, and it probably still is, the best orchestra in Canada, and that's what I was. And so I was lucky enough to win that as my first job. That was my dream. As I say, the others came a little bit as by chance, if you want. I was there for 13 seasons. The reason why I decided to audition for the Pittsburgh Symphony was that we didn't have the best guest conductors, let's say, and and if you want to know one difference between the New York Philharmonic and these other two orchestras, I mean, these other two orchestras were and are still very good orchestras. They had wonderful wind sections. The difference was that in a major orchestra like New York or Vienna or Berlin, you get a level of guest conductors that you don't get in some of the other orchestras. And I think the reason is, I mean, if you think of European conductors, when they come to North America, maybe they don't come that often. And when they come, they usually go to the big orchestras. And New York is one of them, Boston, Chicago, and so on. But and it was the same thing in Pittsburgh. We had a wonderful. I mean, when I joined, Lauren Mazel was music director, and he was there for 3 more seasons. And then we had Maris Janssens, who was just wonderful, wonderful conductor. But when these music directors were not there, and they weren't there that much, they were there for 10 weeks maybe, and the rest of the time, it was not the same. And whereas in New York, I feel that even when the music director is not there, I would say 95% of the time, the level of the guest conductors is as good. So
Yeah.
and I had the chance to play with some really, really great guest conductors like Sir Colin Davis and Ricardo Muti and so on. And those people did not come to either Pittsburgh or Montreal. So in the end, I would say that's probably the biggest difference.
Mhm. Okay. I remember going to the New York Phil concert after our studio class. I really miss that. And my next question is, what is your advice to our young musicians who are preparing for orchestra auditions?
The best thing is you want the people to be as prepared as possible. So I would say, in addition to working hard, I think going to live concerts is one thing that may inspire you by hearing either great orchestral pieces or sometimes great soloists, great pianists, great violinists. I know that I've learned a lot playing in the orchestra, the Mozart piano concertos, how to play Mozart for that you can apply when you play one of our flute concertos. Um, Again, you get a different perspective. I would say, of course, you can listen to flutists, and there are a lot of very good flutists. But I think, in general, great singers, great pianists, great violinists can really be an inspiration. As far as preparing for orchestra auditions, uh, in addition to, of course, working on the excerpts, nowadays, and this didn't exist when I was a student, but nowadays, as you know, many orchestras in Europe have academies.
Yeah.
And at the Manhattan School, we have that graduate program called Orchestral Performance. And that really prepares people for auditions. And I must say that a lot of students who have been in that program have won orchestra jobs. And as a matter of fact, as of now, 2 of the flutists in the New York Philharmonic were in that program. So it's a kind of program that if it had existed when I was a student, I certainly would have been very interested in doing, because I think that really helps you, focusing. If you want me, we still work on solo repertoire and other things, but it's really something to prepare you for taking orchestral auditions.
Yeah.